Well, Justin Dargin is a nuclear analyst and a research fellow specializing in global energy at Harvard University in the US. He joins us live now in the studio. Justin, this new report suggests that Fukushima is the world's worst nuclear sea contamination. You're the expert. In your assessment, what is the damage? How bad is it?
Well, I mean, I would say definitely in terms of ocean contamination, it is. I mean, because the nuclear plant was located right by the sea. I mean, so after the accident occurred, then immediately the contamination, the radioactive material was taken up by a jet stream and deposited near the western coast of the United States. And then from there, much of it dropped into the Pacific Ocean and then spread from there on. So I think that in terms of ocean contamination, I think that it may not be as nightmarish as some do say, but if we do look at it, there is the potential for particular marine life by the Japanese coast to be contaminated with radiation also within the region. So there was a recent study that was undertaken by Greenpeace, and they analyzed seafood from about 5 different supermarket chains in Japan, and they found about 1/3 of most of the seafood was contaminated with cesium-134 and 137. And then also, if you look at Pacific cod, they found that actually 2/3 of it were contaminated. So I think that this is a major issue, in particular, very close to the Japanese coast and within the region.
Justin, are we any clearer now, now that the dust is still settling, as to how this happened? I mean, did the cesium accidentally leak into the sea, or was it discharged purposefully into the sea?
Well, it was actually discharged into the sea intentionally. So if you remember during the first days of the accident, when they were attempting to cool down the reactors, you remember that they were actually dumping much of this wastewater into the sea. So it was purposefully done in the beginning. But at that time, there was a belief by the Japanese authorities that this would be diluted and dispersed throughout the ocean and would not pose any harm or wouldn't be injurious to human health.
Yeah, I mean, this new French report says that something like 4,000 kilometers of the Pacific could be contaminated, but many people thought the ocean would dilute the radioactivity.
Yes.
I mean, how does that work? Obviously, it hasn't worked.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it would be diluted, but it still means that there is radioactive material that is present, okay, within the sea. So it just matters at what level would be injurious to human health. But you will find it dispersed throughout the ocean. But the issue is how much of it would be injurious and at what distance, let's say, from Fukushima, where you'd find it. So, for instance, if you start going progressively farther from the Japanese coast, in particular from the coast where Fukushima is located, then you'll find higher levels of radioactive material, and of course, higher
levels less as you move out.
Exactly,
right,
exactly.
Right.
But you will find it, let's say, for instance, very far away from the western coast, from the eastern coast of Japan. But at the same time, it wouldn't necessarily be at high levels.
All right, Justin Dargin, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.